Hi, my name is Robin, and welcome to English Grammar Now. Today, we're going to be talking about object pronouns. This is a certain kind of pronoun that we're going to study. We already know that a pronoun can replace a noun in a sentence. We know these pronouns because we've used them quite frequently. We use I to talk about me, the speaker. He or she to talk about a man or woman. We use it to talk about a thing. We use we to talk about a group of people that includes me. We use they to talk about a group of people that does not include me. And we use you to talk about the listener, whoever we're talking to. But did you know there's a different group of pronouns that looks a little different from the ones we've studied? The pronouns we've already studied have been subject pronouns. They usually come at the beginning of our sentence. But today we're going to look at object pronouns. These often come at the end of our sentence, or at least after the verb. Here's how they compare to each other. Subject pronouns look like this. I know Heather, he knows Heather, she knows Heather, we know Heather, they know Heather, you know Heather. Object pronouns will look like this. Heather knows me, Heather knows him, Heather knows her, Heather knows us, Heather knows them, Heather knows you. You can see that the only one that doesn't change is you. It can be a subject pronoun or an object pronoun. There's no change. When we're talking about things, the object pronouns could be it with no change from the subject pronoun, but if it's plural, we use them. So for example, as a subject, we would say, it is a nice watch. As an object, we would say, I like it. As a subject, we would say, they are nice shoes. As an object, we would say, I like them. Here's some examples of where you might see object pronouns in sentences. I met Susan's husband. I really like him. You can have these extra cookies. I don't want them. My dog seems to like you. Where is Joanne? I haven't seen her. Tell me when to pick you up. Will your parents visit us this summer? You can see that depending on the context, sometimes we know what pronoun is matched with which noun. Like in the first example, Susan's new husband is replaced by him. In the second to last example, tell me when to pick you up. We actually have two object pronouns. Because this is an imperative sentence, you're giving someone an instruction. There's no subject, but we do have two objects. Someone is being told, that's me, and someone is being picked up, that's you. Here's an exercise for you to try using these different kinds of pronouns together. Our example shows us what you will do. I want to see her, but she doesn't want to see me. You can see that in the first phrase, I is the subject, her is the object. In the second phrase, they have switched places. So we need to use the subject, she, and the object, me. Be careful for the pronouns that change their spelling between subject and object. Go ahead, give it a try. Here's how we could fill in those blanks. For number 1, he helped us, but we didn't help him. Number 2, she noticed them, but they didn't notice her. Number 3. We know you, but you don't know us. Number 4. You like it, but it doesn't like you. Number 5. They waited for him, but he didn't wait for them. Great job! There's one more small group of pronouns that we can also take a look at. These self-pronouns are also objects in sentences. Take a look at these examples. Jamie knitted herself a sweater. She accidentally cut herself with a knife. I looked at myself in the mirror. We enjoyed ourselves. They bought it for themselves. You can see that these pronouns are connected to the subject of the sentence. You may have noticed that there's only one person in this sentence. Jamie is the one knitting the sweater, and Jamie is the one who will receive the sweater when it's finished. We call these reflexive pronouns. All of the reflexive pronouns have self in them, and we use them when the subject and the object are the same person, because it would be unusual to say a sentence like this: Jamie knitted Jamie a sweater. We would be wondering, are there two people named Jamie? So to help keep us from being confused, we use the reflexive pronoun as the object. Jamie knitted herself a sweater. Another slightly different way we could use reflexive pronouns is to emphasize that no one else did the action, that the person who did it was alone. Here's some examples. I cooked everything myself. He made the bed himself. We could also add by into this phrase. He made the bed by himself, to make sure it's understood that he was alone. We usually use the reflexive pronouns in this way to show that we are proud of what was done. I cooked everything by myself. It means I did a good job and I didn't have help. One more tricky pronoun phrase that we might need to use is each other. Now, this one is used for when the object and the subject are both doing and receiving something. That's when we could use each other. Here's some examples. They love each other. We could also say, he loves her, she loves him. But to make it easier, we can say, they love each other. We also might say, we live next to each other, which means I live next to them and they live next to me. But to make it simpler, each other says that both of these are true. All right, here's a chance for you to see how much you know about object pronouns. For each of these blanks, you can choose the object pronoun, the reflexive pronoun, or each other to fill in the blank. Go ahead, give it a try. Here's how we could fill in each of these blanks. For number 1, I don't need help. I can do it myself. Number 2, she lives alone. Should I ask her to join us? Number 3, Marco isn't busy. You can bring him along. Number 4, we didn't go to the party. Jenny didn't invite us. Number 5, if you are hungry, you can help yourself to some of the snacks. Number 6, Jolene and I are good friends. We've known each other for 10 years. Did you catch that last one? Using each other makes it clear that I know Jolene, but also Jolene knows me. Great job! Here's a conversation to see how these pronouns might be used in everyday speech. How is your family doing? Pretty well. Simon is working at a restaurant as the head chef. Good for him. Does he do much of the cooking himself? He does some of it, but there are other chefs working with him. What about Vanya? Is the art studio going well for her? Oh yes, Mom and Dad are so proud of her. She sent them some of her art. Do you get to talk to her much? We call each other every week or so. Here's where we see object pronouns in this conversation. You can see we've only used a reflexive pronoun one time. Does he do much of the cooking himself? Meaning, does he do it on his own, without help? We've also only used each other one time. We call each other every other week or so. This means that maybe I call you, maybe you call me, but we are talking on the phone. Thank you for practicing with me object pronouns in their different forms. I hope this is helpful for you as you're speaking. I look forward to seeing you again. Goodbye!